I did my bachelor's from Delhi College of Engineering, where my bachelor's degree was in electrical and electronics engineering. During till the time I was actually graduating, I realized I don't want to pursue a career in electronics, and that's why I took up a job as a BI analyst for a company called Elixir Pharmaceuticals. It was a US based company, but the job location was in Mumbai, so I was working out of Mumbai. Uh, and I worked there for around 2 years. And during that time, I realized I was working as a business analyst, so there were a lot of learning opportunities in terms of the new things which have been going around in the industry. So machine learning and AI was a booming field in that during that time. So that actually persuaded me to pursue my master's degree in operations research from Columbia University. So, and that was in the year 2017. I completed my bachelor's in 15, worked for 2 years, and pursued my master's in 2017. So the why I chose operations research, first of all, there was no specific course at that time, for business analytics in Columbia University. So operational research allowed you to basically get the specialization by taking up the relevant courses under that degree. US was the first choice because I actually interacted with a lot of my college seniors, and most of them was in the US. So US actually became the first choice, and also there was a second choice was Canada. Because I heard stories about the visa getting rejected. So yeah, I just kept one university in Canada as well for a backup thing. Well, I would say anyone who is pursuing a master's degree, life is not going to be easy. You would be getting a lot of things. You have to study first of all. If you're going to a Ivy League college or competing university, there are a lot of you have to face challenges on the technical side. You have to study a lot because there's a lot of competition. People across the globe are coming to these universities. So yeah, the competition is really high. And then you have to find a job to secure yourself. So I would say life was tough. You have to find a job, and basically getting a job, securing good grades, all of this makes the life more challenging, I would say. So life has been a roller coaster. So basically when I started my master's degree, I was in New York for around 2 years, and then I had to move to Chicago for the job. And then even then every immigrant has to get the H-1B in order to continue working in the States. So so once you get the job, then the next part begins for the H-1B struggle. And if you basically get H-1B, you actually continue filing for an extension every 3 years. So that's the next part. Even if you get H-1B, the struggle never stops. And if you do not get H-1B, then you have the option to either do another master's course in order to get extension for CPT, and then basically get a H-1B, or you move to another country. So yeah, I would say life would give you a lot of struggle, but eventually everything will work out for sure. I actually applied to 5 universities, and the thing was I actually got really late in the application process, because I wasn't decided till that time that I want to apply this year. I already had the GRE score and TOEFL, but I started applying back in January 2017, so it was already late for the fall admissions, and most of the deadlines were over. But then I started with ASU first of all, because it had a deadline of 1st Feb. So I started with that, and it has a very small application. So ASU Business Analytics. The second was Columbia. Its deadline was 14th Feb. So I found a couple of courses through the seniors, and basically checked the deadlines, which were not still they had a rolling admission, or there was a fixed deadline which was later in the year. Third was NCSU Operations Research course. Fourth was University of Connecticut. There's a business analytics course, and the fifth was University of British Columbia business analytics course. So yeah, these 5. I just applied to 5 universities because till the time I have finished applying to all of these universities, it was already mid-March. So, but yeah, even though I was late, I still got admits from all the universities. I would say like it's a step-by-step incremental process. I would say like once I actually started the application for ASU, there was no SOP requirement for ASU. It just had a 2 pages application which consisted of 5 questions, wherein you have to answer in 150 to 200 words. So I basically typed out those, got some peer reviews, and those became the building blocks for my SOP. And then also I actually was able to grab SOP from one of my seniors, who I knew actually I knew his SOP was really good, because he told me his theory score was low, but he was still able to get it because of a nice SOP. So I took it as a Bible for me. I made it as a Bible for me, and I actually followed the whole structure. I saw the whole structure, what he was trying to do, and basically use those things to make mine. So my GPA, I used to get a percentage in the college, so it was around 73.64. My GRE was 319, 168 in quant, and 151 in verbal. And apart from that, the TOEFL was around 105. From my personal experience, I would say in the States, the university name doesn't matter that much. Everyone gets the same amount of opportunity. So for example, in New York, there are many universities apart from Columbia. So if there are any networking sessions happening, everyone is entitled to go to those networking sessions. So everyone has the same opportunity, if they are from Columbia or if they are from some other university. Whereas in India, the employment process or the job process is completely different, because companies would come to the campus and then they hire people. Whereas it's very different here. Companies, you have to reach out to people, you have to make those connections, and then basically you get a job interview and then the job. So this is how the process works here. So you have to have those networking, go to those networking sessions, or there are these I would say career fairs, all those things. So but these are mostly there were some specific university related career fairs, but then there were some open career fairs as well, to which people from all the universities in the New York come, and even some people from some outside area as well. So I would say university name doesn't matter that much. So if you are having a good amount of scholarship from some other university, and the course is also good, the course matters, because eventually it will come to your skill set. So if you think you will be able to develop the same amount of skill set in both the universities, then my suggestion is to opt a university where you're getting a scholarship or spending less. So I was actually working for a company called Tempus, and I worked there for around 2 years. It was going pretty well. I had no complaints. I really liked the work. But the problem was they didn't have an office outside of the States. And then, I actually got 3 attempts for the H1B due to my STEM course. And within those 3 years, my name didn't get picked in the lottery. So yeah, I didn't get the H1B. So finally, basically this year was my last year, 2021, to get a H1B. And since I didn't get it, I started looking elsewhere, because I knew my employer couldn't sponsor me out of Canada. So that was the main motivation for looking out for a new job. And then I was able to find an employer which can sponsor my work permit from Canada. So this is how the transition happened, and it happened this year. So I would say the relocation was pretty fast. They tell you the move date, so you have to plan accordingly. But there are a lot of logistic items, when they are moving a person from US to Canada, they have to get your work permit done. And then apart from that, there are the logistic items. There was I was used to see those long email threads where they are actually having conversation, how which cost center would I be a part of, all those things. So they actually close the requisition in the US and then they open a new requisition in the Canada region, and they basically move the employee. So apart from the work permit and all those things. So first is like getting a work permit for the candidate. The second is basically, and the thing was like, my visa is still like valid until February this year, the US visa. So I was not in a hurry, and like, that was the main advantage point for me, that I had time. So what happened is like I switched somewhere in July, and then with overtime they actually applied for my work permit, and then the switching or transition actually began. I got a work permit for for 2 years. It's an open work permit, and I actually got it through my spouse. So she was already in Canada, so I got it through her. But yeah, and now I'm having the PR residential as well. So yeah, but like it's a step-wise process. I would say like it's Canada, because people are more warm here. Like, they are more friendly, and like you can, and still like, there are a lot of Indians there as well in Toronto region, like Ottawa, Montreal. These are the main cities here on the eastern side. So yeah, I would say like, yeah, Canada is better in terms of like, people being warm, helpful, kind. I was like, earlier living in New York. In New York, like, everyone is looking out for their own, like, yeah, you can't expect anyone to stop, like, and basically help you out or anything like that. So it's a very fast-paced city. Nothing like, nothing like you would see in the world, but like, yeah, it's a completely different experience. Not that it's bad, but like it's a very different experience, and it's very fast-paced, and like, you can't expect anyone to help you out. So yeah, it's also a bit cold. I would say the job scenario or the job market is really hot right now. Like if I see my LinkedIn these days, like, I would see so many posts of people changing their jobs. So the job market is really booming. And I didn't see a much difference, like, in the job market in the States or in Canada. Like pretty much all the major companies which are in the US are also in Canada, and they are hiring in the Canada region as well. So I wouldn't say like, the job market is slow, or like, it's kind of the same. Like, but like, yeah, the opportunities which are in the US are definitely more as compared to Canada. So that is one thing. But like, yeah, once you have a good set of experience, like, for some years, then it becomes practically the same for anyone. But who is actually starting at a very like, just after college, I would say like this is what I've felt, that the job opportunities would be more in the US as compared to Canada.